And so, um, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love Strictly.
You know. And the man said, "Yes, you've won."
You know, and that was, yeah. You know, that was all,
And I was like,
The other thing that was nice was the fact that I'd had a,
But if you had a few bob, if you had half a crown for the fare, you could go to the dances.
and
I can't think now, I'm not sure.
and I never,
ever. Yeah, but, you know, we,
Oh, it wasn't a lot, about a couple of pound.
ooh, she won.
I had got my first wedding ring.
You know, that was you know, that was all
Yeah, but, you know, we,
My grandfather I adored. He used to smoke his cigarettes like through the fingers like this. He smoked very, very strong cigarettes. He took me to a shop one day and I'd seen this curious little character and I just fell in love with him. I was actually quite afraid to say that I was half German. So I thought, right, I'm going to take Mickey and Mookie, I'm going to show it to my class, which was quite a big thing because I wasn't really very out about being German at that time because being German wasn't very popular. I think in my pocket or in my hands, I don't know. And I was walking down the road and I said, look, he's gone. Stood on my bookshelf, and then every flat, every house I've been to, he's been there. And you see, with me, here, healthy, and fresh, but Leute, dann nicht los. Das ist nachher noch echt, glaube ich, nicht. Ich hoffe, so mit sehen, das ist eine Version, Ideen so mehr ja, so sag mal, ich noch nicht mehr das was ist es mir fast
He always loved dogs and he always used to have dogs. So I don't know, I just got this idea of, it was towards Christmas time and British Home Stores had these little toy doggies. And I just could not believe his reaction to it. It was like giving him the real thing. He was absolutely over the moon, cuddled it all the time. Oh, he actually thought it was real. It would have to sit at the dinner table with us. Because he kept saying it looks lonely, so I bought another one. And he was always trimming its eyebrows because they were a bit too bushy. But he was just totally and utterly taken with this dog. So it's comfort for me now because he was so fond of it. That's about it, really.
Yeah, it occurred. Henry is the second of my grandson, my young grandson. He seemed to be shy, but it was more than shyness. And I don't know whether it was because of my size or because of my voice or what. Play about the Octonauts. Well, the Octonauts is a children's thing. So I phoned my stepdaughter and said, look, you know, it would be okay if I booked it, if he would like to go, or if the boys would like to go. Henry was sitting between me and his father, and he was absolutely over the moon. He bounced up and down, you know. And I just said to him, you know, I said, you enjoying this, Henry? And he said, yes, Grandad. And he stopped and he looked at me and he suddenly put his hand in his pocket and gave me his conker. And it was the first real communication that I had with him at all. And because of that, you know, I felt I was quite touched. The fact that he did that he thought enough that obviously why he'd got a concrete object, I have no idea. Yeah.
This is Angie's story. When Angie was a little girl, she was on holiday in Germany visiting her German grandfather, and he bought her a pair of toys named Meki and Mookie.
This story comes from Pat, and she had a husband, Pete, who had Parkinson's and then later on developed Alzheimer's as well. And the two of them had always had pets, and they loved pets, and they were used to having pets around.
My story is about John and Henry. And Henry is John's grandson, and he was a pretty shy boy when he was younger.
Angie was a little reluctant to reveal the fact that she was half German, but she really loved these toys and decided to take them into primary school for show and tell.
So Pat had this idea one year. It was around Christmas time. She was walking past British home stores, and she saw these cuddly toy doggies in the window, and she thought, I'm going to get one for Pete. So she gave it to him for Christmas, and he was just absolutely over the moon with it and actually reacted as though it was a real dog.
Well, what John didn't know at the time was that Henry was pretty shy with almost everybody, and John wanted to communicate with him, and he wasn't sure if it was because he had a rumbly voice or because he was a big guy that maybe he was a bit intimidated by him. But
after the show and tell on the way home from school, Mookie fell out of Angie's pocket. She retraced her steps trying to find him, but he wasn't to be found anywhere.
So Pete really treated this cuddly toy dog as though it was real. His name was Alfie, and Alfie had to sit with them at the dinner table. They would give Alfie a bath, and Pete would trim Alfie's eyebrows because he thought, they looked a bit bushy. And sometimes also he said, Alfie looks really lonely. And so Pat had to then get another dog so that Alfie wouldn't be lonely.
so John wanted Henry to warm up to him a bit, so he thought he would take him to the theater, and he saw that a local theater was showing The Octonauts, which was one of Henry's favorite TV shows. So he brought his two grandsons, and his stepson to the theater. And while they were there, Henry was really excited about it. And so John leaned in and asked him if he was enjoying himself. And he said, "Yes, Granddad." And he stuck his hand in his pocket and he pulled out a conker and gave it to him.
Having lost Mookie made Meki all the more special to Angie. And he's been with her to this day. He's lived on the bookshelves of all the flats and houses she's lived in so far. And Meki represents an important connection between her and her grandfather and between her and her Germanness.
So unfortunately now Pete has actually passed away, but Pat still has Alfie and the other cuddly toy dog. And, you know, they're comfort to her now, and they've kind of given her almost a second childhood, and they're part of her family.
So this was a very significant moment for John, and this was one of the first times he really communicated and connected with Henry. So he's kept this conker ever since. And why Henry had a conker in his pocket in the first place, we're not sure.
more. Let me stay in your arms. All week long I dreamed about our Saturday date. Don't you know that Sunday morning you can sleep late? Give me 5 minutes more, only 5 minutes more. Let me stay in your arms.